violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let's get into the video. So, guys, I'm going to show you this video, and it's pretty crazy. This is in Philly. The houses are very close quarter, but this is a South or East Asian man, rather, returning home to his family from work in Philadelphia, when 3 armed black men waited to ambush him. And, you know, shout out to Spiritual World for keeping it a buck. They put the races and they're letting it be known that this is what's happening. This is why the Stop Asian Hate movement started, because we all know brothers been robbing the bodega since day one. Unfortunately, it doesn't bring me joy to say this, but this is what has been happening since I can even remember. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different examples of it that, you know, it just doesn't make sense, okay? But there was a song called Meet the Flockers by YG, and he was basically informing and directing people that, hey, these Asians, they, you know, they keep money in their crib and they don't really believe in bank accounts and this, that, and the third. So that sent a message in the streets, and blacks started specifically targeting Asians because of that song. So if you don't say the music has an effect on people, it really does. But let's watch. So y'all see him coming from the distance, creeping, like being real slick, being real sneaky. It's pretty scary and daunting. So they said everything. He said, I'ma shoot you. Okay? He said, I'm gonna shoot you. They get in his car, try and jack the car.
No. Yeah.
And then he shoots him. He starts firing off at him. That's one for the good guys, man. I love to see this. You see, now they begging for their life. Please don't, please. Now they begging for their life. They begging for their life. But if you was begging for your life, they'll go ahead and shoot you, no problem. That's wild. So, you know, y'all need to get a job. I'm tired of this. Shout out to this Asian man for defending himself. I always say, yo, where is all this Jackie Chan and Samurai Warrior and you know, Rising Tiger, all these different martial arts techniques, Karate Kid, where is all that? And, you know, he said he just gonna pull out that Kung Pao and start pow.
A brutal beating caught on camera aboard a SEPTA train is under investigation tonight.
The video shows a group of young people fighting, first verbally, then numerous teens attack one girl who is on the ground trying to defend herself.
Wow. So look at these girls. I told you, even these women are on demon time, just beating the girl on the train. They don't care if it's public. They don't care that it's filmed.
The video shows
As a matter of fact, they wanted it. I mean, you could see girls with hijabs on, like, bro, what? Ain't you supposed to be Muslim?
A group of young people fighting, first verbally, then numerous teens attack one girl who is on the ground trying to defend herself.
Wednesday night in the big story in Action News is a disturbing video that surfaced showing a group of students fighting on board a SEPTA train this afternoon.
Well, the video has caught the attention of parents and SEPTA, all of whom are vowing to get to the very bottom of what happened. Action News reporter Bob Brooks live now at SEPTA headquarters in Center City with details. Bob.
Well, Shari and Rick, SEPTA police, everyone is fully aware of what has happened.
The investigation into figuring out who those suspects were is underway, but I can tell you after watching this video, it is brutally violent. The video starts out with a punch thrown. It's from one of the female students, now a suspect from the group attacking. The victims, who appear to be students of Asian descent, continue to sit.
I didn't even know that this was an Asian, like a Asian hate situation. So, hey, they did pass the Stop Asian Hate Crime bill, so you might see some stricter penalties coming for these situations.
Trying to shield themselves from the violence. Next.
But I've been told y'all, we've been antagonizing the Asians. That's been happening.
One of the suspects gets into the face of another female student who is standing. Then the attention goes back to the student sitting. More obscenities are shouted, and then things get extremely disturbing. The female student standing, then the attention goes back to the student sitting. More obscenities are shouted, and then things get extremely disturbing. The female student standing is hit in the face multiple times. Then her head is slammed against the side of the train, and she's taken to the ground. She's punched.
Told you, these women on demon time, these girls, they're on demon time. They don't care no more.
Punched and stomped repeatedly. They're screaming. And one of the suspects is seen taking off her shoe and begins hitting the victim again and again. Finally, you hear someone's voice. And that's where the video stops. According to SEPTA police, the attack happened after school today around 3:30 on the Broad Street line near the Erie station. SEPTA has released a statement. Part of it reads, "Progress has been made in identifying individuals who were involved in the assault. Investigators are continuing to interview witnesses and reviewing cell phone video." Well, tonight, SEPTA Police Chief Thomas Nessel says he expects arrests to be made soon after the victims are able to identify the suspects that they already have. And at this point, SEPTA Police haven't said what caused the attack to happen, but add they're working closely with the Philadelphia School District Administration.
It's in Philly. It's in Philly. I mean, they're going crazy in Philly. It's a cold world.
To get to the bottom of it. Now, Rick, SEPTA Police Chief Thomas Nessel told me tonight he is calling this investigation a top priority. And again, he believes arrests are going to happen very soon. Tonight, reporting live in Center City, Bob Brooks for Action News at 10.
So I know y'all see the suggested video. Suspect will face ethnic intimidation charges in SEPTA attack. So we won't watch that one, but ethnic intimidation. Okay. Is that a hate crime, or what are we doing here?
On PHL 17, Rick.
All right, Bob, thank you.
Police in Orange County, New York, are looking for those responsible for a shooting that injured 4 teenagers. The mayor and community members there were on the streets today demanding something be done about the gun violence plaguing the city's young people. CBS 2's Jenna DeAngelis has more.
Wow. So now they're asking that something be done about the gun violence. Let's see if they have any solutions.
Disturbing video shows a fight in the street Wednesday afternoon, followed by the sound of gunfire and teens literally.
Dang. Well, yeah, if y'all ever see any brothers and sisters fighting something like this, you have to understand that there are going to be gunshots coming right behind it.
Sound of gunfire and teens literally running for their lives. Newburgh police were alerted to the gunshots on William Street and found a crime scene spanning several blocks. 4 teens ages 16 to 18 were shot.
In this incident, 4 different handguns were discharged. 17 shell cases were recovered from multiple scenes.
Investigators released new video which shows injured teens trying to get into cars and a suspect next to a school bus firing his gun allegedly toward police.
This is a call for action.
Wow, these dudes is wildin'. I mean, they shooting at police. And y'all wonder why we getting killed in the streets. We can't go this, we can't do that without getting killed. Hey, I mean, this is probably why, if there is even any credence. But this is in New York City, so.
For all the stakeholders in this community to act and to address our troubled youth.
The shooting prompted the 2-day closure of some Newburgh Free Academy campuses and a peace walk Friday afternoon.
We need help identifying who these kids are.
This gathering, organized by SNUG, Newburgh's anti-gun violence outreach program, funded by the state's Division of Criminal Justice Services, made up of community members like Orenzo Charles.
To have this presence is something I didn't have when I was this age. So to be out here to give these kids the opportunity to know they have an alternative to that decision.
Jamaica Hall lost her 17-year-old son, DeMarcus Hooper, to gun violence, joining this walk and spreading awareness of her Newburgh support group in his memory.
My goal for this space is to ultimately become like a teen drop-in outreach center where it's surfaced around families and teens that are going through trauma or tragic.
Do these work? I don't really think so. I think, like I said, stiffer penalties. Guys who are willing to violate these situations, these laws, they need to be locked up, man. Dudes who is gonna willingly, like, just brazenly shoot in the street, you know, with no remorse, no regard for anybody's lives, man. They cannot be out here.
Police say one teen remains hospitalized in stable condition. The other 3 have been discharged. No suspects have been identified just yet, but are believed to be younger group-involved members tied to the city. In Newburgh, Orange County, Jenna DeAngelo.
Group involved? You mean gang involved? See, they're softballing it. They're softballing everything. That's why we're not going to hear much about the Durrell guy who ran his car into the Waukesha people, right? Because he's a brother and they want to take it easy. I'm telling you, they're really taking it easy on us, for real.
CBS 2 News.
A father is dead after St. Louis police say his 2-year-old son accidentally shot him in the back just south of downtown St. Louis.
Dang. So the 2-year-olds is catching bodies now. Wow. Y'all need to keep y'all guns out of these little play backpacks. Like, dudes be just keeping their guns anywhere. It's not safe.
It happened last night in the Clinton Peabody housing complex. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush. Ann Allred has the night off. Police say that shooting happened when the 2-year-old was handling a rifle that discharged. 5 on your side's Alex Fees is live tonight with details on the case and how experts say you can prevent something like this from happening in your family.
Oh, Mike, good evening. We are live outside a fire station in downtown St. Louis. Which fire station does not matter, because at virtually all of them, pretty much any time, you can stop by and get a gun lock like this one free of charge.
So to me, this kind of reminds me of the turn in your guns campaign and all this stuff. Like, they're saying you can get a gun lock free of charge. A lot of these dudes aren't going to do that. They're just not. Some of these guys have these guns illegally. Some of them don't. You know, they're real comfortable around them, and they will just lay them out anywhere.
Always the news is heartbreaking. But when I heard about this story, I thought, people think 2-year-olds can't possibly pull a trigger, but they have that strength. And so you have a young child around and you think, well, nothing will happen, but it does.
Kathy Gilbert, with Women's Voices Raised for Social Justice, reacts to the latest St. Louis incident involving a child and a firearm. Saturday night, near 14th and Castle Lane in South City, St. Louis police say a 2-year-old, while handling a rifle, shot and killed his father.
And remember, we did that story of the 2 or 3-year-old who shot his mom, and then the baby daddy went and got arrested for it because it was in his bag, or the child's bag. It was his gun in the child's bag. I mean, he was held accountable for that.
A man in his 20s. Homicide detectives are investigating.
There's been some research that shows securing guns does reduce the incidence of unintentional shootings involving children. And that's what our program is based on, that belief that if we can persuade more responsible adults to safely secure their firearms, we will have fewer of these kinds of incidents.
Gilbert says gun locks are at least part of the solution to this persistent problem.
So a gun lock would thread through the revolver or through the clip in another gun, then you secure it. And then when you need to get to that gun, one of the concerns is I won't be able to get to the gun when I need it. But it's as simple as putting the key in, turning it, and your gun is available.
I don't know. It looked like she had a hard time with that.
Gilbert says gun locks like these are available virtually any day, free of charge.
The Lock It for Love program has gun locks at every city fire department, every city station. You can walk in anytime and ask for a gun lock, and they will provide one. A partnership with the fire department and Lock It for Love. City firehouses, 30 firehouses in the city, all have gun locks available. Just ask.
Gilbert says Lock It for Love has also made arrangements for gun locks like this one to be made available at some St. Louis City and County library locations. Check the website of the library near you to see if they offer gun locks. More details are in this story on KSDK.com. It is posted right now, along with step-by-step instructions on how to use a gun lock like this one with a handgun, a shotgun, or a rifle. Alex Fees, 5 on your side.
Breaking news to start us off at 11. A tragedy playing out in Pasadena tonight. A teen struck and killed by a stray bullet in its own bedroom.
Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter is live at the scene with the tragic details. Leanne.
Veronica and Jory, another case of senseless violence and a heartbreaking tragedy. That 13-year-old boy shot and killed inside his home. Investigators say he was in his bedroom, apparently playing video games, when that stray bullet went through his window.
Wow. So you can't even play video games no more.
You can see behind me here, it remains a very active scene. All of this unfolding. Take a look on the 900 block of North Raymond here in Pasadena. It happened around 6 o'clock tonight. Again, investigators say that 13-year-old boy was in his bedroom when that gunfire erupted. Authorities say at this point it does not appear the boy or his home were the intended target. It appears to be a random stray bullet at this point. It is unclear, though, what or who the suspects were targeting, but what is clear.
And you know these folks, Jay, they just be going out in the streets shooting willy-nilly, just shooting at each other like it's Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty or something goofy like that.
Is again, that 13-year-old boy has been killed. He was in his bedroom playing on video games, that stray bullet going through the window. Police arriving on scene within a minute. They immediately began CPR trying to save his life. He was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Tonight, investigators pleading with the public to do the right thing.
If you know anything about this tragic incident or you saw anything, please, please, please come forward to the Pasadena Police Department. We will keep your information anonymous, and what we want to do is find the people responsible for this tragic incident and to bring them to justice.
Investigators say it appears 3 to 5 shots were fired. They do not know if it was one gunman or more than one. Again, they do not know what the intended target was, but they say it does not appear that the target was not the 13-year-old boy. It was not his home. Again, an innocent victim struck by a stray bullet. Reporting live in Pasadena, Leanne Suter, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
He was doing what 13-year-olds do, playing video games at home when he was tragically hit by a stray bullet and killed. Our Hetty Chang is more on the teenager and the vow from Pasadena police to find the person responsible.
You can see the growing memorial behind us here all night long. People have been stopping by with candles and flowers. Most people say they didn't know the 13-year-old boy who was shot and killed here, but they didn't have to know the family's pain.
Wow. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I mean, this is what's going down in the streets constantly, bro.
A growing memorial now lines the front of the home on Raymond Avenue near Mountain, where last night a stray bullet shot through a bedroom window, killing a 13-year-old boy.
The main thing that gets me, Aaron, this was a 13-year-old young man, aspiring dreams, very respectful to not only my neighbors but to myself, and all they did was play video games and just have a good time.
The family of 13-year-old Iran Moreno Balvanetta shared with us this video and these photos. They say he was a good student and close to his family. Saturday night he was home where he was supposed to be safe.
He's a straight A student. He spends all his time inside his room with his family, and today he's not there. So we have to ask ourselves what we want to do about this as a community with the gun violence. This needs to stop.
Pasadena's chief of police confirming a gang rivalry happening right now in the city and several shootings.
Are they going to say the specific gangs, or are they just going to let it up in the air and leave the community without any idea or recourse to move properly.
In the past few weeks, though it's unclear whether gang violence is to blame for Iran's death, senseless gun violence is.
I think as a mom, our hearts are out there. I think we feel we're heartbroken. Maybe probably just as like those parents, and it's unfortunate that this has to happen.
Police tell us they have been working around the clock and that they will continue to do so until they find the person or people responsible. Right now, there is no clear motive. In Pasadena tonight, Hetty Chang, NBC4 News.
Well, somebody down in this park a little bit after 11 o'clock last night was shooting guns off around this parking lot somewhere. Police don't know if they were targeting each other. They don't know what it was about.
They don't know if they're targeting each other, of course, man.
But there was a lot of hot lead flying through the air, and some of it headed towards those trees way over there and a neighborhood just behind them.
And one bullet found a 14-year-old playing video games inside his home, according to Prince George's County Police. The house it was hit is on Marie Street. Estimated distance from the parking lot, according to Google Maps, about 200 yards. The bullet pierced a wall in the home's upper floor, police said. The 14-year-old was just inside.
Damn.
The boy remained hospitalized in stable condition Friday afternoon, according to Prince George's County Police.
The park is on that side.
Neighbor Ronnie Booth pointed out the park and the victim's home.
And I just heard a loud pow. It was like a gunshot. And about 2 minutes later, two more came. Pow, pow, like that. Even if it was something random, just imagine if it any of our houses, it could have hit any one of our houses.
Detectives were seen this morning counting up the bullet casings they found in the parking lot of the West Beltsville Park. Police said they don't think the victim or his home were the intended target. In fact, through the trees in broad daylight, the house is nearly impossible to see from the parking lot. But after a spike in violence that included the killing of 8-year-old P.J. Evans in August in...
Damn. I mean, it's like you can't even stop this type of stuff, man.
Landover, another child who was the intended victim of a stray shot from outside. County Executive Angela Also Brooks has had enough. She said in a statement, "Our children should not have to fear gun violence in this community and in their homes due to poor decisions of adults."
And also, Brooks, in that statement, is calling on anybody who has any kind of information to get to the bottom of this to please call police. And she's also asking for prayers for a quick recovery for the young man that was shot inside his home. He was just playing video games. Live in Beltsville West Park, Scott Broom, WUSA 9.
We are all praying for that little boy tonight. Scott, thank you. And again, if you know anything, please come forward.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
So it is what it is.